My name is Greg Brown, your host of Evolution TV, and today I want to answer the age-old question, what do you want?
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
And I don't know where I'm going, but I'm learning as I'm growing. That's the evolution.
So guys, before we jump into this video, if this channel has brought you any value, if you've learned anything new, saw a different perspective, like this video, subscribe to the channel, send it to somebody that you think would like to see it, right? Because as we grow this channel, my hope is that other people can grow alongside of it. And so with that being said, the age-old question, what do you want, right? Guys, I've been placed in a lot of different environments throughout my life. Things have definitely evolved over the years from, growing up, being infatuated with art and drawing. I did a lot of that, and animation, 3D animation I used to do on the computer, and then transferring that into marketing and liking video content, all that good stuff, but then also working with computers. I mean, there's so many different things, right? And then getting in basketball being a big piece to the puzzle. I've seen myself in leadership roles in sports, in school, and then now today as an entrepreneur and leading teams across the country. One thing I've realized in every environment that I've been in my life is that the performance that you show in any area of your life is 1000% predicated on your level of this word behind me, which is clarity, okay? Your level of clarity, right? And so this is something that I've seen in my life, and every day I seek for more and more clarity on the vision that I'm going after, guys, because what I've realized is when you're clear on what you want, it becomes very difficult for distractions to stop you from getting there. And so the first question, if you're seeking clarity in where you're going, whether you be, if you're somebody of faith where God's called you to go, or whatever business, whatever, vision that you have for your life, the first question to ask yourself is this: what do you want? Right? Like, truly, what do you want? I'm in an environment on a day-to-day basis where sometimes what can happen, guys, is when you see everything happening on social media, you see everything happening in the world, you allow yourself to think that you want what other people have, right? But once you realize that that may not be what's in store for you, right? You start to really ask yourself, what do you truly want, right? What life do you truly want to live? Because if you're not clear on what you truly want, you can get pulled in every different direction. Everyone's opinion now matters, because you're like, I think I want to, move my family to North Carolina. I think, right? And someone says, no, North Carolina is too hot down there. And you're like, yeah, maybe I should do Florida. Maybe I should do New York instead. And because you're not clear on what you want, everything that you hear, every Instagram video, everyone's opinion matters, and it dictates how you move and what you do. And so the first question you got to ask yourself is, what do you want? And then the next question you have to ask yourself is, why do you want it? Right? Because guys, that why question helps you reinforce what you actually want, right? So I have a young gentleman that I was speaking to a couple days ago, and there's an event that we're heading out to in Vegas. There's a lot of different things happening. So we're heading to this event, and the gentleman said that it was going to be tough for him to get there. And he was asking me, man, what should I do? The first question I asked, right? Well, one thing I've learned as a leader is that I'll never challenge somebody to do something that they don't want to do. So as a leader, if you're watching this, if you lead in corporate, whether it be if you're an HR manager, if you are an executive with a company, if you're an athlete, if you're a coach, whatever you do, John C. Maxwell says there's 5 levels of leadership. The first level is title, and the second level is permission, right? So for people to be able to follow you effectively, they have to give you permission to challenge them, right? And so you actually have to humble yourself and ask permission from those that follow you. Right? So the first question I asked him, I said, hey, before we even talk about, how you're going to get there or what's happening, my first question to ask you is this: do you actually want to go? Right? Early in my career, guys, was so fired up to go out there and win and everything, right? And so I would go about challenging them to get to something that I knew could help them, but I wouldn't ask them if it was actually what they wanted. And so it was actually coming from a more selfish place of me selfishly wanting to see them be X, Y, Z. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't help anyone who doesn't want that, if that makes sense. And so Jim Rohn says, help enough people get what they want, and then you'll have everything that you want, right? I think all too often in leadership positions, you come across leaders who are trying to get you to run after something that they want, right? Certain performance numbers, right? Certain growth margins that the leader or the company wants, right? But true leadership is asking that individual, what do they want? And then employing any skill sets or employing any systems or any wisdom that you have to help them achieve their ultimate vision and their ultimate goal, okay? Now, you may be somebody in a position where you're leading somebody who does not know what they want, right? That's where the skill set of a leader comes in, because your job is to help them gain clarity on what they want in their life. And so the first question is always, well, what do you want, right? What do you want, right? A lot of people, what I've realized, guys, is a lot of people don't know what they want, right? Maybe a leader, you may be a leader on a basketball team, and you ask the new player, you say, hey, so what do you want to do? What are some things that you want to do on this team? Like, why are you here at our college? What are you looking at? I don't know. Do you want to be in a starting lineup by any time this year? Or no, I don't know, right? Now is when, as a leader, it's your job to cast vision on what's possible and to kind of probe and see, is that something that person would want, right? So, for example, somebody who's new to a team, you ask them, hey, well, have you ever thought about being able to be on a starting lineup? Have you ever thought about, maybe playing overseas one day and maybe playing in the NBA? Is that anything that you've ever desired? Well, I would like to go to the NBA. I just never thought that it was possible. Okay, now as a leader, this person desires something, and you can be the person called to help them walk in that call and that purpose, right? But you do not force what you see for that person onto them. I see a lot of parents do this, right? They used to play basketball and their kids are born, and now they're like, hey, oh man, he could be greater than I ever was, right? And so because we care about our kids and we want to pour into our kids, what ends up happening, unfortunately, is that we live vicariously through our kids, and now our personal desires, we selfishly throw that on to the next generation, and it's like that kid now has to play basketball, right? As opposed to asking the kid what they want, and maybe that kid needs to be exposed to what basketball is, what soccer is, what school's like, what reading's like. Exposure is going to be huge, because now that kid has a vision of the things that are possible, and then they can now start to become more clear and understand more where they want to be in a life they want to live. And now as a leader, your job is to help facilitate that, help offer guidance, wisdom in order to help them get there. And so I hope this video brought some clarity to anybody here who's in a leadership position. And I hope this video brought clarity to somebody who maybe you're not in a leadership position right now, but you're trying to develop a vision for what you want, for where you want to go. You're not too sure. You're kind of like in a limbo, and you're seeking clarity. Ask yourself, look in the mirror and ask yourself, hey, Greg, what do you want? What do you want? And once you start to answer that question, well, I want to be able to, just be free with my time. I want to be able to make an impact. I want to be able to, travel the world and live in different countries and experience the world and also help people do the same. Okay, so now that you know that's what you want, now ask yourself, why? Why do you want that? Well, helping people get to a place that they've never been before is fulfilling for me. I feel that I have a call in my life. Okay, cool. Now that you know why, do you have a way to get there? And that's now where you start your journey. That's where you start your path. You find something, a vehicle, whatever the case may be, that can help you get to the end goal. But that'll never happen if you never get clear and clarity on what it is exactly that you want. So if this video did bring some value for you guys, again, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, share it to somebody that you think needs a bit more clarity in their life. And guys, as we continue to develop leaders, entrepreneurs, musicians, athletes, guys, as we continue to develop this channel, I'm hoping that you guys will develop your path and your purpose and perform at the highest possible level. All right, so you guys take care and be on the lookout for next week's episode of Evo TV. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.